So this week has been crazy. Way too many things happen in the AI industry and so many new tools were launched. There's this new one that I was checking today because I'm working with something like that and this is pretty interesting. It's called VideoFrom3D and it pretty much like creates like you do your 3D stuff and you give it to this platform and it pretty much creates this amazing video of how it's supposed to look in a specific style, right? You clearly can see that here on the left you have like the building and everything. Then on the right you're giving the style of a Japanese bathhouse or something like that. So this is pretty cool. As you can see, usually, I don't know if you have used like this type of platform before, but they kind of suck. And this one became fairly decent. So how it works is a little bit different from the rest. If we can check here, they created like their own platform for this and they call this like SAG, which is like sparse anchor view generation. So pretty much how this works is like they create like several like pictures as anchors for the generation, right? So they will create like a lot of these pictures, feed to the model. As you can see here, we have several, right? And it will understand better actually what it's looking at. Once it does that, it goes through this thing called geometry guided generative in-betweening, such name, right? When it's actually creating the video. So it looks pretty decent, right? I mean, they have an example here that you can see that I found very cool, where you can see you give the reference style, you have the 3D model, and then it generates the scene. And it can be about everything. I think this probably can be like super useful for architecture, but I think you can use for more than that. But of course, for architecture specifically, it looks pretty convincing. Not bad at all. And the fact that you can have something like that with just one reference image, it's crazy. It really means it really understands like the round, how it's supposed to look like. So you can actually test this right now if you want. They have their GitHub here and the paper about it. But yeah, this is impressive. This is pretty good. And this is just something that happened this weekend. Of course, as you can imagine, you need to know Python to start working on this. But this is a pretty cool tool. So yeah. Sorry, I need to change my shirt because it was being lost with the microphone. So yeah, like another thing that was launched this weekend, it was by ByteDance. Also ByteDance are massive, right? It's the business behind TikTok, a lot of this. Chinese business, and they launched this model called Lynx, which the idea is actually to have a lot of personalized AI videos based on yourself, or at least that's what they're looking for here. The idea is you can provide like 1-2 pictures of you and then, well, create the videos, right, about the environment or things you want around. And they have some evaluations about how they do compared to other ones. To be fair, they still look very AI from my point of view, but they are getting really good. Yeah, like they are trying to see like how they perform based on other models they have before, and it's nice. It's pretty nice. Here we can see a few like examples where they provide this picture of this black woman and they can see what they can generate. This one doesn't look so impressive to me. This one actually looks impressive to me, this one in the middle. Because, I don't know, right? It's just like you give the picture of your face, but this is like a style that is way more complex if you want. Like neon colors. I would expect actually to have more issues with this, but it doesn't actually. You can see that behind you have actually like a car, and you can see how the light comes here, you know? That's when he turns his head a little bit. That's insane. That's insane. That's really nice. And you can see here the prompts, right? You can create these. Not bad at all. We can see the whole prompt in a bursting urban street at dusk. A curious person stands near vibrant neon signs. Their expression reflects a blend of determination and wonder. That's really good. Yeah, we have all these examples here. This one, for example, is really bad from a point of view. It clearly looks AI. This doesn't look AI. Okay, I was saying, this one looks really bad, clearly, like it's AI completely. This one looks pretty nice. This one is halfway, right? It looks decent, but still a little bit AI. So there's clearly like a few styles that it works better, and there's a few styles that clearly sucks. So it's a little bit of testing which ones work better. And here we have a little bit more examples. I feel like, for example, this one looks pretty decent. This one looks fake in a lot of ways. And I don't really like it. But yeah, so this is the whole idea about creating like a lot of videos, custom videos of yourself in the case of you don't want to generate all of them, of course. So the whole idea is this is just one picture that you need to provide, and that's it. I feel like we can use this for several things. For example, with influencers, it's very common that obviously they want the money, but maybe they don't want to put the time and effort to taking some shots and stuff like that. But if you make an agreement right together to actually let them generate some things, of course they will be pre-approved by them. This is amazing because you can take the picture, you can generate a few of the things, and you can say, hey, what do you think? Is this fine? Is this not fine? What do you think? Can we like launch these or not? And that's it. Like you start doing this, and these can help actually creators to get things faster, but influencers to get more money and maybe actually not annoy them that much with the whole recording and all that, because we know it's a little bit complicated. Yeah, here's the research team. As you can imagine, everybody's Chinese. This is a Chinese business. But Chinese are going really fast. I realized something, like Chinese are going really fast on like video or stuff about general video. But on the other things are going a little bit slower, which is interesting. I'll expect the opposite. Probably it's because of language barriers, I imagine. But yeah, here is right here. The model is ready, and you can install this, start running with it. Not about all. I will say go on, check it out. This is another tool that was launched this weekend, and this is by ByteDance again. Oh my god, these guys work a lot. Chinese never sleep. This is called OmniInsert, and it's interesting. It's pretty much like about inserting specific like pictures or descriptions of something into the video and mask it together so it looks real. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm completely freaking out about it. So long story short, you can actually upload like a reference and then make a description on what do you want to do, right? You can, and as you can see, even mask actually the reference, right? We can see that it has this, I don't remember the name of this thing, but it's holding in the hand. And we can clearly see the background on the hand disappears and it's put on the shoulder of this person. And here we can integrate like characters that kind of look like the same anime style, and they look pretty decent. This is like such an interesting moment to see all these, because we can barely trust our eyes, and even now it's going to be even crazier, right? Having these models, like we can use it for great things like having fun and creating like innovative things, but at the same time, man, imagine the amount of like fake stuff we can create with this. Yeah, it's going to get a little bit crazy. Usually Chinese don't care that much about those things. What they really care is like just building the things they want. Yeah, so we have a little bit of examples, right? Like the person, then these glasses. Here you can see that clink doesn't look that great. This model pickup looks actually horrible. Doesn't make any sense. And this is their model, right? And it looks very good. You can see it respects a lot, like the reference and the faces. It doesn't look like they were like generated in a lot of ways. And this is interesting because actually it's a little bit easier to do it with like cartoons, stuff like that versus people. Oh well, not bad at all. Here we're putting a husky inside the trolley. If I'll just see this video on YouTube, I will believe it's true. It looks like a... You can see here Kling getting super confused, putting the husky there. Like going through some bars and stuff. The other one, pickup is even worse, really. So yeah, you can actually comment this right now. This is like phantom/video.github.io, and you can check all these. It's super, super cool. I can see already like a few ways of actually making this work as a business if you want. But for example, a lot of these videos or podcasts that usually gets to be recorded remotely, it will be amazing. You can completely put them both together, generate the video, and it's going to look like you are in the same place. I don't think anybody will notice that you are in different places. That'll be super interesting to make a test case of something like that and just check it out. If people actually have an idea, right? Because I'm sure that, for example, something like this, right? If you have a good white frame and on the left side, you actually put the person, one person from the podcast, on the right side, you put the other person. And use this model to actually put both of them together. Highly probable you can probably do it. It's going to look like both in the same place. Both people are in the same place, and probably more people will enjoy that. I realize that a lot of the podcasts that I listen to, the ones that are a little bit like everybody with their webcam, I don't like them. I don't know why. I feel like probably because being in person feels more like personal, and probably something like that will feel more personal too for that same reason. Yeah, this is another launch from ByteDance. This is their Phantom team. It's looking great. They are doing super, super great. Yeah, let's go to the next one. The last launch of this weekend it's Gemini 2.5 Flash and Flash-Lite. It's fun because I don't think like it got like a lot of attention. I didn't see a lot of people talking about it. And I get it, it's the same model. It's just faster and it's not as flashy. Excuse the joke there, as like the new models that are coming out. Yeah, I completely get it why it's not so interesting. But it's not looking bad at all, right? Like we're talking about this new version is obviously way faster, as you can see. We went from 2.5 Flash to 2.5 Flash 09 2025. I hate the namings of Google. It's there. So like none of these business, they are good at naming things. Like OpenAI is so weird about it. It doesn't make any sense. They're always extremely confusing. And Google is in the same ways. They are the same, like extremely bad. So yeah, we can see like it's actually way faster, and compared with the intelligence, it's not bad at all. And the output token efficiency is actually pretty good. I'll make the case that this model, specifically the Flash-Lite 2.5, this new version, is probably great for the web scraping. It's probably great for scrapping. Like anything related to scrap data with LLMs, this is probably the one that you need to use. It's fast, it's cheap, and it's good enough that it will get the data in the structure that you need for whatever. And if you're web scrapping like a lot of websites and getting data all the time, this is probably the way to go. This is probably the way to go. And yeah, we can see actually it's very super fast, it's super efficient regarding tokens. See it right here, 50% reduction in output tokens. That's brutal. Because it means cheaper, right? It's not only about time, it means like how cheap it is. So yeah, this was the last launch. I will make the case that it's actually pretty good for web scraping, like I said. I don't know if I will trust this better agentic tool use. In general, while I love Gemini models, they're actually pretty bad at tool calling. I tried to build actually like a few agents, and I realized that on the tool calling section, let's call it, Cloud is probably the best, then OpenAI, and then Gemini with Google. I create several tools, and sometimes while it understands what it needs to do, like it doesn't call the tool that for that use case, and I never understood why. It's super weird, like it's very random, and sometimes you will just try it again and it will use the right tool for the case. Oh, it's weird. It's weird. So I wouldn't trust this new Flash around tool calling. Just don't use it really for that. But anything regarding web scraping, I'm telling you now, this is the model that you need to use. It's super fast. It's super cheap. I don't think you can go wrong with this. It's a great tool. So yeah, this was like the latest things launched this weekend. As you can see, there's a lot of things going on. Like AI never sleeps. But yeah, so you can a little bit updated.